Okay, let's take a breath together. So great. All right.
All right.
I'm going to turn this off. All right, ready?
Ready.
Okay. Hello. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're with us. I'm TinaO, and this is,
I'm Amanda Ray.
and we're your Lead Beyond Belief squad. That feels really fun to me. Um, what we're going to do today in this, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or less, we'll see, is we're going to talk a little bit about leading beyond belief and wrapping up what we were ready for in 2020 or not ready for, but happened anyway, and really take you into the conversation about your 2021 and your like step into leading beyond what you even think or believe is possible. And we're going to do that together. And then we have what we think is a really awesome, beautiful invitation for you after to support you in identifying yours. And we're not going to sell you anything in case that's where your brain went. Oh, an offer. Oh, great. No, we're actually here to support you. All right. So I'm going to hand over to you, Amanda, because this is your thing. You're so amazing at listening and opening and honoring. And that's always a great place to start, right?
Yeah. Um, yeah. Thank you, Tina. So before we dive into that leading beyond belief, I feel like for me one of the important pieces that we don't always get a chance to slow down and do is celebrate where we've come from. And this has just been a really big theme for me, especially in these last couple months, because um, well, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so there's that increased pressure, and there's this feeling of like of kind of getting through and pushing through this and keep going, and how do we keep going, and one of the things I see a lot is like, but what about where we came from? Can we just take a second here and look back at where did we come from? Because we've come a long way. And when we're so in the day to day and we're focused on the future, and we're pushing to make our goals and our dreams happen for ourselves and our families and our organizations and our communities. And so what feels really good for me is stopping to take a moment and just celebrate where we've come from. And so, when we were talking this past year, we've been having a really incredible conversation about, what are you ready for? Like, what is it that you're ready for? And so I'd like to take a moment and celebrate, what were you ready for in this last half of 2020? And maybe that I'll ask you that question, Tina. What were you ready for in 2020 that you're celebrating now?
Mm-mm. I love that question because transitions are areas of my life that I'm not very good at. I often don't take the time to stop and reflect and then integrate that piece, which really does become the next stone that we step on to move into leading, right? So thank you for that. I think for me, what I was ready for, but hadn't really named, was to share my voice both creatively, intellectually, and soulfully, all at the same time. And what's manifested, or rather was a goal, if you will, but I didn't know what was going to come with it, is finishing my book and writing my one woman show. And that's an intellectual goal, but the intention underneath it was really to be ready to stand in my voice.
Mm.
So thank you for that. That's a really great. And I'm going to celebrate. Let me just model this for you so you can do it too. I'm celebrating in 2020 standing in my voice
Mm.
and giving it away.
Mm. Thank you.
All right, so now it's your turn, Amanda. How about you? What were you ready for that you want to celebrate from 2020?
Yeah. Thank you. I want to, just before I dive into that, just point out too that this celebration that we're doing, the celebration can be an act of resistance in our culture that's pushing us to go, 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 the next goal, the next thing. Where are you going? And so to stop and have this moment of really celebrating what we've accomplished, we've come, and who's around us, and just where we are today. It's an act of resistance against the dominant culture of push, go, hustle hard. And so thank you, yeah, for taking that moment out and standing in your act of resistance to celebrate.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oof, and you're so right about the resistance piece. Wow. Yeah. All
Uh,
right. You're up.
and so for my 2020, I was ready to do my work in the world in community, and to find other humans who really were trying to do not the same thing but the same way, and have a love for the world, and are trying to show up from that place every day, day after day, and create a better world than the one we came into. And I was really ready for that, and I feel like I found that this year through Powerhouse and through the Powerhouse community. And so I am really celebrating um, finding this community, and stepping into this organization.
And lucky us. Like lucky powerhouse. I just want to say, I'm talking to a fellow listener over here. And what a gift it is to me to like, oh, I get to walk through the space with another listener. So truly. Okay. So in Storyland, that would have been Act One, what we just did.
Okay.
Act One is establishing, right? What do I know? I know. And what do I know that I don't know? And the part that we don't know is if we step on that stone, on that story stone of celebration of what were we ready for, we then move into the unknown, which is the story stone of 2021. Most of us have a first go that sounds like a goal and not an intention. And it often doesn't get to the beyond belief. It's just an elevated goal. So the invitation here is to really take it way outside your belief zone of what could ever happen, yet being rooted in your soulful call of who you are. So, and I can go first if you want, just as because I've been this is kind of my baby. Do you want me to just go first, Amanda, without you asking me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, I could
Um,
ask you.
okay, let's do it official. Let's
Yeah.
ask. Okay, over to you.
So, Tina, let me ask you, if you were going to frame up your 2021 beyond belief, leading beyond belief goal, what would that be for you?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So, my 2021 Lead Beyond Belief goal that is infused with intention. It's totally like that's soulfully intended. Okay. Is, and I'm going to be specific because the universe doesn't answer to subtle or vague, right? So, my 2021 Lead Beyond Belief intention is to be on Radio 1, CBC, as a guest being interviewed because I've been asked to perform my show, Oh My God, in Ireland, where the play is set. So I'm totally standing in my voice. I am risking sharing my voice. That's what I was ready for. And now this is how it lives in the world.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I hear you. I see that for you. I see that for us.
Mm, thank you.
Appreciate how like clear and concrete you are with yours, and to your point, the universe doesn't deliver unless we say exactly what we're looking for. And I actually feel like I've done this quite a few times in my life where I am like quite vague, and so I get a very vague delivery. And so maybe this can be an opportunity to help crystallize for me. That
Perfect.
does it
Yeah.
feel?
Okay. So I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for the honor. All right, Amanda. So, what is your, or where are you in your conversation about your 2021 Lead Beyond Belief intention and goal?
So I have pieces of it, but I getting to a point where it's very, very clear. So the first part of it is that I I see my leading beyond belief goal would be to work with 2 to 3 corporate organizations that are interested in having a different conversation around common buzzwords like leadership, change management, innovation, and really having the conversation of moving from a um, a, uh, a colonial mindset conversation, command and control, moving to what does it look like to have a more heart-centered, collaborative model of leadership, and organizations that are interested in embodying that, because I feel like it's a bit of a journey, and we're learning together how to get there, and it takes a certain type of organization to be willing to engage in that conversation. So that's a piece. And then another piece is avenue through individuals. So I see that as an impact with a significant number of leaders from the next wave of leadership, like the next generational wave. So millennial, I think would be the group. And yeah, so those are kind of the pieces of it, and I'm not sure how to put it together. So
Yeah, that's great. So, can I tell you what I'm hearing you say?
yes, please.
Okay. So, first off, I heard what you were ready for was a community, right? And so, I think my first question then to help us with the lead beyond belief is what is it that a community gives you, or how your experience of that community supports you so that
Mm.
whatever the lead beyond belief is, what does community mean to you on a from a leading place?
From a leading place, community means to me um, other humans who are interested in um, standing in the gap, waiting
Mm,
for the muck, holding an inquiry, not having it be right, wrong, yes, no, black, white. I think those are really, um, we tend to do that as our human brains, but I think being able to stand in that inquiry and ask questions that are encouraging the inquiry, and mirroring what is being heard, and also supporting from a, a connective standpoint. I don't want to say connections because it's not about necessarily who you know, but a connective to, oh, I hear you talking about this, and I know this other human who's talking about this. Maybe you two should connect. So community from a connective place.
okay, I would write that down. Community from a connective place.
Reading.
That really is. Yeah, that really is like what you were ready for. So where I was ready to stand in my voice, it was community from a connective place is what you were ready for. And then I suspect then in your lead beyond belief goal, the corporations that you're working with value that too. Would I be right in that?
Yes. Yeah.
So possibly the beginning of your 2021 statement, and I want to be really clear, it's not about getting the words right. That's important and we want to get there, but it's actually about getting the intention right
Mm,
because the universe doesn't answer words on your page, it answers your intention.
right.
And right? And so I just want to make sure people don't get all hung up on, am I getting the phrase right? So community from a connected place. Okay, so when the corporations connect, okay. And they want to have a different conversation. So what can you tell me a little bit more about your intention of that difference?
Yeah. So the difference is how how do we move beyond um, leadership conversations that are hmm, how do we shift to conversations that are different than leadership from a colonial mindset. So, there's this leadership has historically been very like command and control and, much more rooted in our colonial legacy. And so I'm seeing and feeling a recognition that we're ready to move beyond that. But how? What does that look like? Like what we don't know where we're stepping because we haven't had widespread leadership from that place before.
Mm,
So, when we say more heart centered, when we say more collaborative, these words sometimes get really stuck in paradigm models that we have about um, being too emotional or too feminine, or like they can be really triggering words. So it's kind of a tricky navigation. Like, how do we lead from that place? Like, what we know this is no we know that what got us here is not going to get us out, but how
mhm.
do we shift that conversation? How do we lead differently? How does that look in our organizations, in our day-to-day feet on the ground?
I love that. Day to day. So I would write that down. Feet on the like day to day, feet on the ground. And the piece that I heard really loud and clear was this moving from a colonial mindset from a place that we haven't been before. It's like, how do we put our feet on the ground in a place we haven't been before and lead from there? That's Tina language, but the simplicity, I hear that. So like
Mhm.
right corporations that work corporations that are community from a connected place that are ready to lead from a place that hasn't been established before as they dismantle the colonial mindset and move from a more organic place. Again, this is Tina language, but that's what
Mhm.
I hear. And then the third piece that you said was about millennials. So what's that about? That's the third clue.
Yeah, that is like the next wave of leadership that is
Okay.
starting to take the leadership positions. And I really they're sort of at that beginning of, not the beginning of their careers, but the beginning of their leadership levels in their careers. And so how do we support and reinforce them, because they are the boots on the ground folks who are trying to lead from this different place that hasn't been modeled before, not in a significant cultural wide way. So how do we support and reinforce those individuals?
Beautiful. So I'm not going to throw it back to you and say, okay, let's put it in a sentence now. I'm going to give an example of what I think or what would be close for your 2021 model. Um, and then you can run with it. Or if you need more time, you might want to, sit and think about it. But what I heard you say, I'm just going to like take it out of my brain, is my 2021 intention. Okay, not me, universe. I'm talking for
Good. I'll put my fingers in here so it
there you
knows.
go. That's great. Is to secure 3 community-minded corporations that value connection, who are ready to lead from a different place and be leaders with their feet on the ground as they support the millennial leaders of tomorrow who are discovering leadership beyond colonialism.
Mm,
That's my Tina sentence. I'm sure you can shorten it,
mm,
but would that give you something to work with?
yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, that definitely gives me something to work with.
that's
And
great.
sit with in like just sit with the each piece of it to really feel like, is this true for me?
The truth in a little bit deeper,
Mm,
and then I can't pretend that I know what I know, like that I don't know what I know.
mhm,
So thank you for that. I just want to share that my word for 2020, actually, in January, my word was sage. And I actually have it on it's not here right now, but I have a champagne cork with that word on it. And I know that this year was the beginning of owning that part of myself. And so I want to point to the importance of this conversation and the importance of this naming of like beyond the place of just another thing on the schedule or whatever, the goal that or the achievement we're going to hit, but it's more about the embodiment of our gift to our from our lifetime. Like this is my gift to the world. And yeah, so leading beyond belief is that one of the ways we get into that gift.
oh, thank you. Mm.
Mm. So good. So let's wrap this up. So for you listening, what Amanda and I want you to know is that when you send us your lead beyond belief intention, which is what we're asking you to do, it can be messy, kind of like in process, like Amanda's, or it can be like direct and straight, like nailed, whatever, like mine. But if you're willing to send us your lead beyond belief intention, we are going to call you and invite you to have totally free, totally free, a listening session around the support that you need to get you there. And that's our gift to you as we open up 2021, is to support you because we do have your back here at Powerhouse and we believe in your leadership and we know that you're part of the leading into the future that is yet to be written. That story is yet to be written. We're writing it right now.
Writing it right now.
Do you have any last words you want to say, Amanda? I just say that because, I'm a bit of a spotlight person. I can like take it. Anything you want to say?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to say that it's possible. Like whatever that leading beyond belief is, it's there, it's possible, and we can claim it. So let's do that. Let's claim it.